The Space Groove skin line was League's first take on a futuristic, fun, and colorful retro outer space disco. With a fun lore, extraordinary character design, top-tier concept, the skin has been received well by the whole League community. Though there may be some disappointments in some of the releases, and we're gonna talk about that today. Hi, my name is Jed, and if you've been here to my channel, you probably know me from the Badass Analysis vid, or maybe some of my edits, but welcome back if you're not new to my channel, but if you are, hello, my name is Jed, and I talk about skins and gush about League a lot, and if you're interested in these types of content, then make sure to subscribe because I'm planning to release more content like these in the near future. But anyways, today I wanted to talk about the Space Groove skin line and why I think Space Groove Gwen feels a little bit odd compared to the others champions that were in the skin line, and I thought it will be an amazing and interesting conversation to talk about. So if you want to hear all of my thoughts, make sure to keep on watching and grab a snack because this may be a long video, who knows. So yeah, stay tuned. Enjoy. So one of the most obvious inspirations of the skin line is disco. Emerged in the 1970s, disco is a new sound with a mixture of funk, groove, rhythm, and blues with an undeniable beat. It has changed the game of the dance floor ever since, not only because of its energy, but it also became a place and an anthem for gay liberation, black empowerment, and women's rights, filled with icons such as Donna Summer, ABBA, Diana Ross, the Bee Gees, and so much more. Disco has been a place for all people at any size, shape, and color to come together and have a good time. Its free spirit aspect has led the disco movement in various interpretations over the years. It made an impact to the way people make music, dance, and also in people's fashion. Disco fashion has been referenced a lot from back then and to today's modern pop culture. It has took many directions and was interpreted in many ways possible. The fashion aspect of disco has inspired a lot of things and has become a staple in mainstream fashion. And it is very evident if you are following the trends in fashion for a very long time. Moving on to Space Groove. So the Space Groove skin line took on a futuristic space approach to disco with a flair of retro fashion and sci-fi fantasy. From its groove, the VFX, the vibrant disco lights, the amount of disco balls, the dance floors, the Studio 54 reference with their roller skates. I mean, the Space Groove thematic unapologetically embraced the full spirit of classic disco. That's why this was one of League's strongest skin lines conceptually to date. So the skin line is composed of these champions. We have Blitzcrank, who is a legendary skin, Lux, Nasus, Samira, Rumble, Nunu, and Willump, and Lulu, who were just epic tier, and it is also being joined by one of League's most fresh and newest champions in a while, which is Gwen, the hollowed seamstress. And we're going to be talking about Gwen a little bit. So in March 26 of 2021, League of Legends posted a teaser for the upcoming and the most anticipated sewing mage to be added in the top lane. So a lot of the fans actually expected it to be Isolde, Viego's wife, and everybody was gooped when they found out that it was actually Gwen, who is Isolde's doll that she made. So I'm not gonna go dig deep into Gwen's lore, but the gist of it is that when Isolde's other body, her dead body, died again, some of her soul fragments managed to found the doll that she made, which is Gwen. So some of her soul fragment entered the doll, making the doll transform into a real life human girl. So yeah, okay, so I'm not really sure if that was the lore. But I'm pretty sure that is the whole idea of her lore, basically. So, yeah. Everybody was mixed feelings with Gwen at first because some people felt disappointed that they got another anime waifu cute girl, as they would like to call it, and they didn't get a full-on creepy Zone Chaos or Yana champion moment. Which Riot clearly stated that Gwen is a human girl and not a human doll. She was a doll transformed into a human. That's why she looked like the way she is. So that's about that, I guess. So I'm pretty positive that a lot of people enjoyed her reveal as well. Gwen immediately gained a massive hype all over the internet, and aside from her release, the fans are also waiting for what her Space Groove skin is going to look like, since we already have an idea that she will be joining the Space Groove theme. Because Riot already said it. When we all got an idea about what Gwen looks like, in my head I was like, okay, so it kinda makes sense why she is in this cutesy retro thematic, because she herself is a character that is meant to look cute and adorable. And I already have a sense that she will not look odd in this skin line, since I can already see her base character design working on a thematic like this, unlike with the case of Lunar Beast Viego, which is, you know. Anyways, a lot of the disco fashion references are more evident in the female characters, since half of the lineup is composed of mostly animals like cats and dogs, and creatures operating these robotic, armored, men-looking ships, basically. And they weren't really incorporating a lot of clothing and a lot of the clothing aspect of disco. It is much more apparent in the case of Lux, in Samira, Lulu, and maybe Gwen. Okay, from what I'm seeing, I feel like the clothing designs of each girl in the skin line is heavily influenced by the 60s, which I think is brilliant. Like, it is so brilliant, you have no idea how brilliant it is, and I'm gonna tell you why it's brilliant. So, during the mid-60s, people started embracing the space craze ever since people gained a fascination over it in the late 50s. They were so invested in the idea of space and modern futurism that almost every single thing back then has some sort of spacey futuristic motive. We can see it in cinema, television shows, structures, toys, food, postcards, and so much more. But one thing it has also influenced is fashion. The 1960s is the era of fashion where designers began experimenting with their designs, associating a lot of astronaut suit materials such as plastic, PVC, PU in their clothing, as well as unconventional materials like a lot of metallics and vibrant colors, which ties in with their idea of futuristic fashion. And as the decades passes by, space remained a reoccurring obsession in pop culture. We can see them in a lot of designer runways, Lady Gaga's fame in the mid-2010s, the rise of galaxy print over Tumblr, the amount of sci-fi themed television shows, the amount of people being obsessed with having the word NASA in their shirts and phone cases. And now we reach to a point where it has now influenced the Space Groove skin line. With all that being said, during the time Gwen was revealed, I can already feel that Gwen is gonna have the classic 60s mod dress silhouette, because she already had this balloony boxy empire waist Lolita dress in her base, and I thought that maybe this rig is perfect for a 60s mod Twiggy looking futuristic dress. Which it did have that silhouette when League finally revealed her splash art for her Space Groove skin. Okay, so let me just dissect what she was wearing for a second. So she was wearing this tube-like, almost 60s mod silhouette dress, which is seemed to be made out of colored PVC, with leggings accessorized with a bunch of colorful acrylic jewelry, which is a huge trend right now. And we can see it in her bangles as well as her hair ties, if you will. And she is also wearing what I assume is a stylized version of a pair of go-go boots. So yeah, that was she was wearing. And let's talk about it. Now honestly, I think this skin is not as bad as what people perceived it. Well, it made itself look lackluster because it was released later than the first lineup of the skin, which all had such amazing designs already. Okay, so my theory is that when the Space Groove skins started so strong when it got revealed, they all had higher expectations on what Gwen's skin is going to be. And the moment they revealed her skin, it somehow didn't manage to reach a lot of people's expectations. Especially her base skin is already an amazing skin just by itself, which I think is kind of a bummer for the skin designers because I know how much work they put into these skins, but I think people wouldn't mind as much if they released her alongside with everybody else in the skin line. If you know what I mean, does it make sense? Like, it wouldn't look that bad if they released her the time they released and revealed Lux's, Amira's, and everybody else's skin for this thematic. And I think people wouldn't mind it as much. So I don't know, maybe that's just me. But for me, even if it was released the same day as the first batch of the Space Groove skins were released, I still think Gwen's Space Groove skin still lacks a little more compared to everybody else. I know I am not alone with this comment, but I think this skin looks like a less detailed version of the Sugar Rush skins. Right? I mean, I think what makes this skin more candy-like is the way her skirt was designed. It kind of looked like a candy corn in-game rather than a 60s mod dress, which I'm pretty sure and positive that that was not what they're going for. Like, it literally looks like jelly. It's too jelly-like, and that's why it looked like candy to me. I don't know. And the things that made this skin even more candy-like is her scissors. I honestly couldn't think of any other scissor design, so I'm not gonna go ham on this one, but something about the way her scissors ombre and the soft curves along the edges made it look like it was supposed to be candy, rather than a super high-tech dressmaking scissor. And also, the other side of the scissor, which is supposed to resemble some sort of paw, looked like one of those candy food you get like for Halloween. And I don't know if they were trying to resemble a foot or an animal paw, but I don't know, I'm really not sure about this. Another factor that made it look so candy-like is the way the sounds of her abilities sounded. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but it's way too bubbly and splashy. I don't know. Something about it to me just made it supposed to look like as if she was shooting melted candy or something. I don't know. And lastly, I think she is way overly colorful to a point where the combinations look a little odd put together. Like, I know the skins were supposed to look colorful, but take a look at someone like Lux. Like, she is very consistent with her palette. Like, it's just blue and silver with a pop of blonde in her hair to break it up a little bit with white. They all look cohesive and complementary. Well, maybe because Lux is a princess in this universe, that's why she looks like basically Cinderella in space meets Barbarella. But besides that, Lux looks way cleaner than Gwen. And take a look at someone like Samira, who is a good example of incorporating a lot of colors together and still making it visually consistent in her overall design. Because if you look at her, there may be a lot of colors, but they look way more complementary and cohesive and strategically placed with one another than Gwen's palette. I don't know. What I wanted to say is that Lux's, Samira's, and some of the others, a lot of the skins and the skin lines look way more established than Gwen's skin and overall color palette. Because Gwen's palette, on the other hand, looks way more clashed rather than complementary. She has the green, the orange, the blue or violet in her hair, and I don't know, something about it is just way too off looking for me. There's just way too many colors going on, especially when you also add her scissors, which, made her basically look like a Crayola candy come to life. I don't know, but hey, chromas exist, and she definitely had a lot of chromas that looked even better than her base Space Groove design. So thank God for chromas, I guess. But overall, I already saw a better interpretation of a bell-shaped disco dress in Over the Moon's Chang'e, and I kind of wish they did this Gwen skin in this way more, because this is a much more successful interpretation of a outer space futuristic version of a mod dress, and I don't know, I wish they really just like finessed it a little bit so that it looks way more established, but it is what it is, I guess. So before I end this video, I wanted to do this. Okay, let's put up Gwen's design besides all the other Space Groove characters. Okay, you're seeing this, right? What do you think? Do you think Gwen looks odd hang up with everybody else? I think no. Does she look the worst? Probably. So yeah, she doesn't look that odd. Agree to disagree, if you will. So in conclusion, when you hang them up all together, but I still think he's candy-like. Okay, let's hang up Gwen with the Sugar Rush skins. Okay, does she look odd here? No. Does she look terrible here? No. I think no. Cause I don't know. She looks like she fits here, right? I don't know. I know I may be hamming too much on the fact that she looks like a Sugar Rush skin rather than a Space Groove skin, but that's about that. So at the end of the day, we cannot do anything about it but to just disagree. Agree to disagree, if you will. So in conclusion, I didn't just talk about Space Groove Gwen in particular, but I also did talk about the amount of amazing references to disco and the space age era of the 60s that this skin line has. And yeah, I still think that overall, regardless of how bad Space Groove Gwen looks, I still think that this skin line as a whole is so amazing and brilliant. It's just everything that I wanted in a skin, except for Gwen. Oh my god, I'm roasting Gwen way too much. Shut up, Jed. Okay, so which Space Groove skin is your favorite? And did you think that Space Groove Gwen looks odd? Make sure to comment it all down in the comment section. And if you wanted more content from me, make sure to subscribe because it surely motivates me. And let's chit chat in the comment section and let's gush about skins. Yeah, and yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. GG.